What was the hardest part of adopting my son? We thought we were getting a healthy toddler. That's what the agency said. No major issues. Sweet little boy. A little shy. When we got to the foster home, the caseworker looked nervous. There's something you need to know, she said. James has a brother. His name is Noah. They're a package deal. We blinked. Okay, we said slowly. 2 kids instead of 1. We can do that. Then she added, almost in a whisper, Noah has significant brain damage. He'll never walk. Never talk. He'll need 24/7 care for the rest of his life. My husband and I sat on that sagging couch, staring at the peeling wallpaper, feeling our entire future tilting sideways. Our apartment was too small. Our savings were laughable. We had no idea how to change feeding tubes, manage seizures, or advocate for a medically fragile child. We asked to just meet James alone. The foster mom shook her head. They don't separate, she said. James won't even sleep unless Noah's crib is beside his bed. When they brought them in, James was clutching a worn-out stuffed lion, one arm wrapped tightly around Noah's wheelchair. He didn't even look at us. He just whispered something into his brother's ear, as if preparing him for battle. Noah couldn't respond. He just stared up at the ceiling, smiling at nothing, his tiny hands fluttering like leaves. That night, I cried into my husband's shirt. We only had 72 hours to decide. Every spreadsheet, every logical conversation screamed no. We couldn't afford this. We weren't trained for this. We would be setting ourselves up for heartbreak. Then I found a crayon drawing tucked into the stack of paperwork. 2 stick figures holding hands, one standing, one in a wheelchair. At the bottom, written in crooked block letters, we stay together or we stay alone. We went back the next morning. James was sitting by the door, his little body tense, holding Noah's tiny hand so tight his knuckles were white. When we knelt down and said, we want both of you. James didn't cry. He just climbed into my lap like he had been waiting his whole life to exhale. And Noah laughed, this gurgling, broken, perfect sound, like he understood, too. The first year broke us in 100 different ways. Hospital stays, midnight seizures, learning a whole new language of therapies and medications. We missed weddings. We lost friends who didn't understand. We drained our savings. We fought. We wept. We grew. But last week, James stood up at his kindergarten family day and said, my family looks different. My brother's my hero. My mom says love is something you do, not just something you say. So I do it. And every morning now, when I lift Noah out of bed and he clutches my shirt in his small, weak fists, I remember the hardest part wasn't the medical bills. It wasn't the exhaustion. It wasn't even the fear. The hardest part was that moment on the couch, knowing what was right and being so terrified to say yes. I thank God every day that we did.